In this quick tip, I want to show you how we can actually get an extended pattern from a 3D embossing folder. So here I've got a piece of card that's cut to 5 by 7 inches. This is our coconut white essential card. And I've got a 6 by 6 embossing folder. This is one of the new John Next Door Christmas folders that comes out at the end of October. So we know to emboss this normally, you would simply find the outie bit and place your card down onto it and then simply emboss it. And of course there's a gap. So what I'm going to do is place this down against the edge in my folder. I'm going to close it and I'm going to emboss that as normal. So I'm just going to bring in my Kaleido here so you can see, and I'm going to emboss that as I would do as standard to give me my first emboss. So we run that through and that gives us our beautiful embossed pattern. But of course it finishes. The way that we correct this is that we move the folder down, and when you have a repeating pattern folder, you simply move it down until you click the design back in. So if you can see there, I've clicked the design back in. It fits exactly. And I want to run this through. However, if you run this through and you allow this section here to go through your machine, then what will happen is you'll get a line across it. So you want to hang the edge of the folder over the edge of your plate, line your top plate up so again it isn't touching the edge of that folder, then bring your machine in and you present that section first, so there's no risk of it changing. Then you simply run through and emboss the remainder. Take the plates out, and what you'll then find is a perfect full embossed range with no lines or anything. The pattern is continuing, but the pattern is 5 by 7, and of course the actual folder isn't 5 by 7. We simply lined up the design. However, if you do this and you get it to prove over, can you see here we have a line running through it where it actually ran over. So if I don't want that, I simply use the technique I've just done. I'm going to add that. This is to a card which is cut to 6 by 8, and I've just matted and layered this onto a little bit of white and then a little bit of silver. But you can see when that goes on, it works perfectly. I've got some of the foliage from the pine cones cut here in white and silver, and I'm not going to glue those on. I'm just going to add those down onto this card and overlay them. And then I've got a sentiment I've stamped using the new handy sentiments. I'm just going to add a strip of foam tape through the center, and using my multi-purpose heat mat, I'm going to place my sentiment down, getting it nice and even using the lines on the mat. Let's move those up a little bit. There we go. And stick that on. So I could, using that, cover over the join if there was one, as there was on the first piece, but on that one there is no join at all. So a beautiful card and a beautiful embossed piece at 5 by 7 inches, could be as long or as wide as you want to, made using a 6 by 6 embossing folder.